inside out and backwards. The people who are in charge of economics have screwed us. The people who are in charge of our health have completely let us down. Medicine has turned into a for-profit runaway juggernaut, controlled not by logical, rational thought and outcomes, but controlled rather by the magnificent money of the pharmaceutical industry. And it is legendary how much money the pharmaceutical industry generates every year. And, you know, like the fellow said, if the shoe fits, wear it, and the proof of the pudding is in the eating. We have gotten no results after nearly $1 trillion of money wasted on cancer research. We have gotten no results while letting MDs with general family practices guide our ships through the sea of obesity, through the sea of arthritis, through the sea of heart disease. While we've given the MDs full sway over everything, health has gotten worse and worse and worse and worse and worse all around the globe for no reason other than the simple fact that your MD is ill-equipped to help you recover your health. Your MD does not have the right tools nor the right training to help you recover your health. They are the wrong dog for the hunt. They're ill-equipped to do it. They're not the correct person for the job. And this is the biggest revelation that we have to teach here. This is the biggest revelation that we have to teach. Your medical doctor may be the nicest person God ever created, but they only know what they've been trained in. And in the final analysis, what they've been trained in is only a tiny piece of the pie of medical science. It's a tiny piece of the pie of medical science, but you have been convinced by the pharmaceutical industry and the American Medical Association and the European Union and Health Canada that the only medicine worthy of your money, worthy of your attention, worthy of your body is MD-directed allopathic reductionistic medicine. Nobody practices medicine. Medicine's a gigantic domain. It's a gigantic endeavor. It's a gigantic field of study. Your MD does not practice medicine. Your MD practices allopathic reductionistic medicine. Allopathic reductionistic medicine. I practice naturopathic medicine. There's homeopathic medicine, chiropractic medicine, Ayurvedic medicine, traditional Chinese medicine, chiropractic medicine, herbal medicine, etc., etc., etc. Now there's even this weird, ridiculous hybrid called integrative medicine, which is just nonsense. But in point of fact, you wouldn't hire a ship's captain, you wouldn't hire a submarine commander, you wouldn't hire a scuba diver to fix the plumbing in your house, even though those people have lots of experience with water. I mean, who has more experience with water than a scuba diver or a ship's captain or a submarine commander? They have lots and lots and lots of experience with water, but it's not the type of experience that you need when it comes to plumbing. You need a different type of experience. Well, when it comes to chronic disease, you need a different type of experience than is brought to the table by your MD. And this is our clarion call. This is our big message. We have actually 3 messages. Message number 1 is that your MD doesn't know what's best for you. Your MD only knows what they've been trained in. And what they've been trained in is inadequate to bring you to health when it comes to a chronic disease. Your MD has the appropriate tools to bring you health if you have a trauma to your body, a bullet in your arm, heaven forbid, a burn, a laceration, a broken bone. You've got a bleeding artery, then the MD is exactly the person for the job. That's their wheelhouse. That's their domain. Also a handful of infectious diseases. That's the wheelhouse of the MD. But for chronic disease, they don't know what they're talking about. Their information is inside out, upside down, and backwards. And most importantly, their therapeutics are not designed to heal your body. They're only designed to manage the problem. This is our message number 1. Message number 2 is that healing is an easy process. Surgery is complicated. Healing is easy. In our third message, your body wants to fix itself. Your body knows how to fix itself. Your body is attempting all of the time to fix itself. Your body is endowed with a God-given ability to fix itself. And so what we advise people to do is get out of the way, do the right things, and support and promote your body's ability to fix itself. And if you do it appropriately in a timely manner, before it's too late, your body will fix itself to the degree that it is able to. And the degree that it is able to is often quite remarkable and quite astounding. You wouldn't believe the things that I've seen people recover from in 25 years of clinical work with licensed naturopathic medical therapeutics. You wouldn't believe it. Is naturopathic medicine a one-trick pony, a cure-all, a panacea for all human ailments? No. But it is an undiscovered country full of promise, an undiscovered country full of promise. Your medical doctor has no clue about it. Your chiropractor has a little bit of a clue about it. Your homeopath has a little bit of a clue about it. Your acupuncturist has a little bit of a clue about it. Your psychiatrist is clueless about it. Every MD in the world is clueless about it, no matter how many extra letters they have after their name, no matter how many times they've been published, no matter what their professional skill set is, or how much cachet they own inside of MD land. I don't care if it's the Surgeon General of the United States or the Chief Medical Officer of Sloan Kettering. They're MDs. And MDs all around the world are taught the same philosophy, the same outdated, old-fashioned, reductionistic philosophy of medicine. And it's completely useless when brought to bear on cancer. It's completely useless when brought to bear on the genesis of all chronic disease. So, we get to go to MD-A, MD-B, MD-C, and we expect a second opinion from these people. But the only thing that extra specialist MDs are going to be able to tell you, right? Oh, you have a problem with your left hand. Well, I'm sorry, I'm the right hand specialist. You have to go see the left hand specialist. The only new information that the left hand specialist can tell you that the general practitioner can't tell you is, information about the latest drugs that they use in order to manage the diseases of the hands. That's all they're going to be able to tell you, the latest surgical techniques. Because that's the pulse that they have their fingers on. But they're incapable of telling you what causes the disease of the hand. They're incapable of telling you what causes the diseases of the body. They know how to name the diseases. And often they name them after themselves, right? They go down in history. Oh, I'm the doctor that discovered, the Parkinson's disease. Well, no, you're not. Parkinson's disease existed for a long time. You're the doctor that named it. You have no idea, however, what causes it. You have no idea how to cure it. All you can do is manage it with drugs and surgical procedures, often which produce more harm than they fix. Now remember, we're not against the drug. That's nonsense. It's not the drug, it's how it's used. Thank God for Novocaine, thank God for morphine, thank God for penicillin sometimes. Thank God for the sterile technique and the mattress stitch. But, for everything else, it's just bad. And the way that MDs use drugs, for goodness sake, when you use a drug with the wrong methodology, it becomes dangerous. And that's why MD-directed medical therapeutics are the leading cause of death in the United States, the leading cause of bankruptcy. Because what's the most expensive medical therapy? The one that doesn't work. And yet, we're up against a monopoly. So you can get 100 very scholarly, very serious, very fatherly-looking MDs, all with their white coats and stethoscopes to line up. And they'll all tell you that heartburn is caused by too much stomach acid, and they're all wrong. Heartburn is not caused by too much stomach acid. And by the way, if your MD tells you that your heartburn is caused by too much stomach acid, I want you to ask him what causes your stomach to make too much acid. How did that happen? And then watch their head explode. Watch them shuffle and obfuscate and search for an answer, and then ultimately they'll blame it on genetics. Your body can't make too much stomach acid. There are processes in place that regulate that. The body has checks and balances all the time. Heartburn is caused by not enough stomach acid. Not enough stomach acid, not enough hydrochloric acid and pepsin, which are two of the main digestive ingredients that your stomach uses to digest food. Not enough hydrochloric acid and not enough pepsin leads to the accumulation of too much of another biochemical in the stomach called gastrin. And when gastrin builds up too much in the absence of hydrochloric acid, there's a little valve at the top of the stomach that opens up. And all the stuff that's in the stomach squirts back up into the throat and it burns. It's not because there's too much stomach acid, it's because there's not enough. But when you get 100 MDs all agreeing that it's too much stomach acid, it becomes reality by consensus. And even though they're wrong, they will never admit that they're wrong. They don't think it through. They have no idea what causes heartburn. How well equipped do you think they are to tell you what causes cancer or heart disease or kidney disease or liver disease or arthritis or high blood pressure? Guess what? They can't. Which is why the smartest move you will ever make in your life is to fire your medical doctor when it comes to information about chronic disease and hire a naturopath instead. Better yet, tune into my radio station. We're getting at it when we come back. Chris in Canada is up first. Stick around. Welcome back, everybody. Dr. Peter Glidden here, your steadfast advocate for health. Let's get right to the phones. Chris from Canada is up first with a question about macular degeneration. Hey, Chris, thanks for the phone call. You are live.
Hey, doctor. Thanks for taking my call.
Happy to help.
Most pressingly, I just wanted to ask you about a procedure I have coming up tomorrow on my eyes, but I'll quickly let you know. I'm 28 years old. I had a partial retinal detachment in my left eye when I was 22. I have a very strong myopic prescription. I had a scleral buckle done on my left eye when I was 22. And I had another laser surgery on my right eye a couple of years ago. Now, the procedure tomorrow, I have a spot on my in my vision on my left eye. It's like a camera flash, and he told me it was bleeding in the back of the eye. Like it's something that had bled through, like a vessel had burst or something like that. And so he wants to use a shot of Avastin, I think, in my eye to correct that. Do you know anything about that? Or
yeah, I wouldn't do it.
Well,
I wouldn't do that. I wouldn't mess around with that. I've had people call up. I've had private patients who've had nothing but negative experiences with Avastin. Mm-hmm. And more to the point, those procedures, including the laser surgeries, don't. And you're lucky that scar tissue wasn't created into the bargain, because I'm helping a guy now who's had massive amounts of scar tissue because of laser treatments for glaucoma. It's a slightly different treatment. But look, the retina doesn't detach from the back of the eyeball because you have a laser treatment deficiency, right? Mm-hmm. The detachment of the macula and the bleeding of the blood vessel is not the disease. It's the result of the disease. And the surgical treatment at best is a short stop. It's a stopgap. It doesn't get to the root cause of the disease. So all it does is give you an extra month or an extra year or an extra decade or whatever. But, meanwhile, the physiological process that was whittling away at the health of the eye continues to go unchecked, and that's really what needs to be addressed here. If it were me, I would really double down on an aggressive eye support program with medical nutrition. I would do that for 90 days, and I would, see what happened. Are you doing any of the longevity stuff now?
Yeah, I've been taking sort of my basic longevity products for about 2 years. And when I got this news, I really started dialing it up with some plant-derived minerals. I started taking more BTT. I started taking more calcium, and I hadn't really eliminated the bad foods because I hadn't been listening to you for that long. I just recently learned about those, but I've made a commitment now to eliminate the bad foods in my diet as well. I'm a fairly healthy person otherwise, I like to think, but I can't seem to do a thing with my eyes.
Well, so first of all, how long? So let's back up a little bit, okay? So since you've been doing longevity, let's say 70%, since you've been doing longevity, 70%, have you noticed any improvements anywhere?
Oh, yeah. I have more energy. I sleep better. Joints feel better, muscles. I get less headaches. I don't get dizzy spells when standing up that I used to sometimes.
Okay, great. So there's been a lot of kind of broad stroke improvement across the board that's been really, a very good thing for you.
Oh, yeah.
So therefore, we must assume that the eyes are also coming along, but, because you were still eating the 10 bad foods and because you weren't Johnny on the spot with a 100% therapeutic program, this condition happened with the eye. The main thing that causes this to happen from a nutritional point of view is a calcium deficiency. It's a calcium deficiency. Calcium is needed for the clotting cascade. It could also be related, perhaps, to a copper deficiency. And I would think that if you had a copper deficiency, so much so that it caused fragile blood vessels in the eye, that you would also be bothered by spider veins, varicose veins, hemorrhoids, or gray hair. Did you have either of those?
None of the above.
Okay, and you don't have any other, like, blood vessels, little petechiae that have burst anywhere else on your body, like little blood blisters anywhere else?
Not that I can think of.
Okay, so how much do you weigh?
I'm 5'10" and a half, about 165 pounds.
All right, what I would do if I were you for 9 months in a row is I would do one anti-aging Healthy Start Pack, original formula, 4 bottles of selenium, and 1 extra bottle of calcium. Stick around, Chris. There was more after the break. Welcome back, everybody. Dr. Peter Glidden here, your steadfast advocate for health. We're finishing up with Chris in Canada. So, Chris, you really want to overdo it with selenium and calcium when it comes to this situation in order to support and promote eye health. And I would also do the Vision FX. I would do 2 bottles of Vision FX a month for 3 months, so you shouldn't eat it more than 3 months of that. The Vision FX, 2 bottles a month for 3 months. And you really have to be extremely diligent about eliminating the 10 bad foods. You see, from our point of view, it's kind of like, if you went out and bought a brand new Lamborghini, excellent car, right, cost, $150,000, whatever, and you love that car and you take really good care of it. You keep it you wash it every day. You keep it in a garage, a heated garage. You tune it up once a month. But you put diesel fuel in it, and it's an unleaded engine. The car is going to run like crap if it runs at all, no matter how well you're taking care of it. Well, no matter how many nutrients you're putting into the if you're consistently eating food that's hurting the body, it's going to be 3 steps forward and 2 steps backward. You're going to make progress, but it's going to be slow. So one other thing you may want to consider here is going to somebody in your neck of the woods who is trained and experienced in a type of physical medicine called craniosacral work. Craniosacral work. Craniosacral. So check that out. Do a little Google search for anybody in your town who's a certified craniosacral therapist, and that's craniosacral. Have you ever had that done?
No, I haven't heard of it.
Kind of like chiropractic adjustment for your skull, but it doesn't. It's a very pleasant experience. It's not like the rack'em crack'em stuff that you get from chiropractors. By the way, I love the rack'em and crack'em stuff that I get from chiropractors. I love that feeling. But craniosacral work to the skull is a much more subtle thing, and it can really help to increase circulation and energy flow up there. So I would consider doing that. I'd find a licensed craniosacral therapist. Take some more selenium, double down on the calcium, take the Vision FX, and I'd let it roll for 90 days before I had the Avastin shot.
Okay,
right?
So that's what I was going to ask really quickly on the Avastin. This spot in my vision it can go away without the Avastin, or I can give it. There's no rush that I have to get it done this week.
Well, they should have told you that when you went in for the diagnosis. Now, you have to be careful when you're treading these waters.
Okay.
Because well, here's why, right? I mean, if you talk to a communist, they're not going to be able to tell you about voters' rights, because that's not their thing. No matter how many you ask, that's never going to be on the top of their mind. Well, from your surgeon's point of view, from your eye specialist's point of view, because they're MDs, trained in the allopathic reductionistic methodology, they are of the opinion that you can't fix this with anything other than surgery. And so from their point of view, you're going to need surgery. Why don't you just shut up and get the surgery now? Well, and that's quite a bit different than, well, look, this particular problem, if it's not addressed within the next 7 days, you have a 35% chance of going blind in that eye, right? That's a whole different thing. So I would inquire. Quite frankly, I'd get a second opinion from somebody, and I would ask them point blank, what are the dangers to my vision from trying to get on top of this with some other method other than surgery? I mean, what's my window? How long can I wait without endangering my eye? And they should have told you that right off the bat, but they're not going to, because from their point of view, right, there's nothing else for you to do. And I think that's a big problem that we have here all around the world, is that people get intimidated by the doctor, and the doctor's very honest in what they're telling you, but their position, of course, is lopsided, but they don't know that it's lopsided, and that's a problem. I'd get a second opinion, man, and see, because they're going to know. The optometrist is going to know. The eye specialist is going to know, look, man, you need to address this now, or you know what, it's not a problem. You can let it ride and keep your fingers crossed. That's what I would do.
Okay. Thank you so very much.
You're welcome, Chris. Call me back with a report. Tell me what happened. I'll look forward to that. From Canada to Virginia, let's go and talk to Cleveland. Hey, Cleveland, what's going on?
Hey, Dr. Glidden, how you doing, buddy?
I'm good, but I'll get better. Cleveland, what's shaking down there in Virginia?
Oh, I got a couple of guys got problems. I got one of them on the phone, Mr. Ward. He has some problem with, I believe, bladder, so I'll let him talk to you about himself.
Hello, Mr. Ward. Thanks so much for calling. How can I help?
Talk about prostate problem.
Oh, you got a prostate problem? Well, so what's the problem?
My water leaks all the time, and I can't control it whatsoever.
Yeah, that's a problem. Yeah, how long's that been going on?
Oh, it's been going on for some time.
Yeah, you know what the biggest cause of that is? Fried food. Fried food is the biggest cause, from my point of view, of an inflamed prostate gland. And so you need to stop eating anything that's fried, man. You have to stop eating anything that's fried. You can't have any more French fries. Can't have any more fried chicken. Can't have any more fried fish. Can't have anything fried. You have to stop eating that stuff, because that stuff that's going to hurt your prostate if you continue to eat it. So, we need to clean the diet up and give the body a little bit of a chance to recover and knock down the inflammation. But, if you had a hammer, right, and once a day you tapped yourself in the left forearm in exactly the same spot, you just tapped it lightly in the same spot every day, after 30 days you'd have a black and blue, just from a little tiny tap. And if you kept doing it for a year, well, it would be a big problem. If you kept doing it for 10 years, it'd be a giant problem. And that's what's happening inside your body, because every time you eat food that's inappropriate for your body, it's like a little negative tap, and those things build up, and then all of a sudden you wake up one day and you've got a bad prostate, you got a bad lung, you got a bad heart, you got a bad kidney, something's bad, It took years for that stuff to develop. So, we have to adjust appropriately here if you want to get on the other side of this. So Cleveland will tell you that there are 10 foods you need to stop eating. He'll give you that list. You need to stop eating 10 foods, and he'll help you do it. It's not that hard. And on top of that, it would be prudent for you to give your body nutritional support to support and promote the structure and function of the prostate. Because unless you dial this in, man, they're going to want to do surgery on it, and the surgery is not going to cure the problem. The surgery is just going to manage the problem, and it's never a bad idea. Every single solitary patient that I've ever had who's had surgery on the prostate glands wishes they never had surgery on the prostate gland. I've yet to meet one person who thought that it was a good idea. How much do you weigh?
I weigh about 158 pounds, something like that.
All right, so here's what I would do every month. Cleveland, you're going to want to write this down. It's one anti-aging healthy start pack. One anti-aging healthy start pack, original formula. 4 bottles. Yeah, it's called the anti-aging healthy start pack. You want one of those?
One.
Yeah, anti-aging. Anti-aging.
A-G-E-N-T.
Yeah, anti-aging, A-G-I-N-G, healthy pack. One anti-aging healthy pack. 4 selenium. That's S like Sam, E, L like Larry, E, N like Nancy, I-U-M. 4 selenium. And 2, selenium. That's S like Sam, E, L like Larry, E, N like Nancy, I-U-M. 4 selenium. And 2 bottles of Prost FX. That's P like Peter, R like Roger, O, S like Sam, T like Thomas, P-R-O-S like Sam, T like Thomas, P-R-O-S-T-F-X. 2 Prost FX plus eliminate the 10 bad foods. Cleveland will tell you how to get that at the wholesale price. He'll tell you how to take it. I want you to do that for 6 months in a row and see what happens to the prostate. I think you're going to like how you feel. Let's go to Dallas next. Sherry is up. Hey, Sherry. Thanks for the phone call. You are live.
Hey, how are you doing?
I'm great. Thanks for the call. Dallas, you've been getting smacked with rain lately, haven't you?
Yes, we have. We sure have. So I wanted to ask you about how to treat bacterial dysbiosis.
Oh, yeah. Well, that's fancy schmancy doctor talk for you've got bugs in your digestive tract that shouldn't be there, and the bugs that are there aren't enough of them, right?
Yeah.
So how do you know you have dysbiosis, or are you just assuming that you have dysbiosis?
Stool test.
What company did you do it with?
Honestly, I forget the company name. I'd have to...
Was it Genova? Genova?
That sounds right. That sounds
All right.
familiar.
All right, so here's what I'm going to recommend you do. And you really just got to trust me here and follow my advice.
Okay.
Because when it comes to bacterial or, parasitic or dysbiosis in the human digestive tract, it's really pretty important, and it will save you tons of money and tons of time and tons of sleepless nights if you get a laboratory test which is sensitive and specific and which gives you decent results that you can, take to the bank and rely on. Because when it comes to dysbiosis of the digestive tract, we have to do 2 things. We have to identify which bug is there that shouldn't be there. We have to know exactly which one is there, and we have to know what kills it. And in the wonderful world of laboratory testing, hands down, the best laboratory in the world to test for this, and you're a fool if you go anywhere else, is Doctors Data out of Illinois. Doctors Data. I would go to, Direct Labs, D-I-R-E-C-T-L-A-B like baby S, directlabs.com. You can order this test yourself through Direct Labs. You can sidestep the physician completely.
Okay.
You're not going to have to go to the naturopath or the MD or the chiropractor, right? Just order it yourself. The company is called Doctors data, D like David, A, T like Thomas, A, doctor's data. And the test that you want is a comprehensive stool analysis. Comprehensive stool analysis. Comprehensive stool analysis. Order a doctor's data comprehensive stool analysis. And when you get the test results, you'll ship them to you yourself. It'll tell you how much good stuff you've got, how much bad stuff you've got, and what kills the bad stuff that you've got. And it'll tell you the herbs that kill it, and it'll tell you drugs that kill it. And when you get those test results back, call me back, and I'll be able to hold your hand and help you figure it out. Now, in the meantime, here's what you need to do as kind of foundation, generic support the gastrointestinal tract protocol, okay? How much do you currently weigh?
Oh, probably a pinch over 110.
All right, so you just need one healthy digestion pack. One healthy digestion pack, one killer biotic, and one root beer belly a month. One healthy digestion pack, one killer biotic, and one root beer belly. Plus eliminate the 10 bad foods. Get with the person that told you about this program, and they'll be able to order this stuff for you. Stick around, folks. Everybody, Tuesday, May 13th, finishing up the first hour here. Let's go to Louisiana and see what Phyllis is up to. Hey, Phyllis, thanks for the phone call. You are live.
Hi, Dr. Glidden. I have a 10-year-old, and I was wanting to put him on, get him started on the minerals. And he needs something like something to keep him calm, sit still, focus like they.
Yeah, duct tape works. Just duct tape him to the chair. That's what I would do.
I tried it. I tried it. Doesn't work. He gets out of it somehow.
All right. Yeah, that'll happen. This crafty little kid. So one thing that you wanted, is this your son?
Yes.
Okay, so one thing that you want to pay attention to is kids who are like this, right? They might be a little more hyperactive than the next person or a little more spacey than the next person or whatever, but they have moments in time when their behavior becomes much, much worse, right? They'll become like really super spacey or really super hyper. You want to pay attention to when those moments happen and then look to see the very last thing that child put in his mouth, the very last thing that he had to eat or drink. I don't care if it was a jelly bean. I don't care if it was one raisin or one peanut or a glass of milk or whatever. Every time he has an aggravation of his behavior, you write down on a piece of paper what he had to eat, okay? And, let's say it was a bowl of cereal. So what you would write down on the paper is not bowl of cereal. You would write down skim milk, whole milk, 2% milk, whatever kind of milk he used in it, right? Corn flakes, sugar frosted flakes, Cheerios, whatever, and anything else that he had on top of it, right? Blueberries or bananas or whatever. And if you be mindful of this, if you're mindful of the food aggravations for the behavior, it'll go a long way towards helping him to settle down because, after the third or fourth time of just kind of observing his behavior when you write down the foods that he ate, there will be foods that are on those lists that are similar. So, it might be every time he drinks milk he flips out, or every time he has a strawberry he gets worse, or every time whatever, right? And so if you keep a running list like this, you can identify foods that are problematic and can go a long way towards reducing his, the intensity of the outbreaks, and it'll make it much easier life at home while you're waiting for the medical nutrition to kick in. Now, the first thing that I would give this child is the one healthy brain and heart pack. I'd give him the full boat healthy brain and heart pack. If he's not going to do that, then I would start him with one bottle of Cherry Mints, one bottle of CHERI, M like Mary, I, N like Nancy, S. One bottle of Cherry Mints per 50 pounds of body weight per month. and 1 bottle of EFA Plus, like Edward Francis Albert Plus, EFA Plus, per 100 pounds, per 50 pounds of body weight per month. 1 bottle of EFA Plus and 1 bottle of Cherry Mints per 50 pounds of body weight per month. That's a really good program for him to start with. Plus, be mindful of which foods make him flip out, and then just eliminate those from his diet. And also I would no, I wouldn't give him that. I'd do the Cherry Mints and I do the EFAs first, because he's going to like the way that tastes. He might not like the way that the other one tastes, and then that's going to be a problem. The next thing that I would add, you got to kind of wean him into the program, right? The next thing I would add is the Beyond Osteo FX Liquid. Beyond Osteo FX Liquid. Now, some kids like the way that tastes, some kids don't. If he doesn't like the way that it tastes, you can mix it with orange juice, put it into a popsicle mold, and it tastes exactly like a creamsicle. I mean, exactly like a creamsicle. And then the third and final thing that I would add would be the Beyond Tangy Tangerine 2.0. Beyond Tangy Tangerine 2.0. That's how I would do it. I'd start with the Cherry Mints and the EFAs. Then I'd add the liquid calcium. And then I top it all off with the Beyond Tangy Tangerine 2.0. And don't be afraid to mix this stuff with water or juice and put it into popsicle molds. You can mix it up with anything that you want to make it taste good to him. And after he takes this stuff, together or separately, it doesn't matter. As long as he gets the requisite amount of the stuff every day. You're going to have to do some figuring out there. But, once kids have been on this stuff for 2 weeks, they start asking you for it. And you're going to see a nice little turnaround in the behavior. Give us a call back with a report. I'll look forward to it. Thanks so much, everybody. Hour 2 coming up. I'm Dr. Peter Glidden. Stick around.